Your boss isn't buying your talent. They're buying your finite biological clock. Stop sprinting. Most professionals in 2026 are still running a 40-year race toward a finish line that moves every time they get close. The internal algorithm we inherited is a lie. It says success means renting out your time for a paycheck and hoping the leftover crumbs buy you a decent weekend. But that model is fundamentally broken. You will never build real wealth by selling your time. Even as a high-earning director or a specialized doctor, you're still just a high-status laborer, capped by the brutal biological limit of 24 hours in a day. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Wealth is not the size of your paycheck. Wealth is ownership. It is the transition from being a player on the field to owning the stadium. To bridge that gap and escape the status trap, you must first find your specific knowledge. This isn't a credential or a LinkedIn certification. It's the intersection of what you're genuinely curious about and what you're unusually good at. To you, this work feels like play, but to everyone else, it looks like an impossible effort. When you operate from this zone of genius, you stop competing in crowded markets and start creating a monopoly of one. You're no longer a replaceable cog in someone else's machine. You become the core of your own digital ecology. But identifying yourself is only half the battle. The real magic happens when you productize, turning that unique judgment into a repeatable asset. This is exactly where you introduce leverage. In the old world, leverage meant managing people or begging for capital. In 2026, the most powerful leverage is code and media. Both are permissionless, both scale infinitely, and both have near zero cost to replicate. While you sleep, your software runs. While you rest, your media teaches. Society is always hungry for things it doesn't yet know how to get at scale, and your job is to supply them using high-leverage action. This is the art of making one decision that ripples outward 10,000 times. When you attach your name to your work, taking full accountability, you signal that the outcomes trace back to your judgment. That trust doesn't just grow, it compounds. Now look at how the 2026 landscape supports this shift. The traditional firm is atomizing. Transaction costs have collapsed, and high-quality work is flowing towards sovereign individuals who command armies of machines packed into data centers. Execution is now cheap and abundant. The scarce skill is no longer doing, it's judging. One correct decision can outweigh 1,000 hours of manual effort. Think about the world's best deep-sea diver. They've spent years mastering depths no one else would dare to touch. When a treasure ship is discovered on the ocean floor, the diver didn't find it, but they're the only human capable of reaching it. The owners must give them a massive share of the gold because access runs entirely through that specific skill. In 2026, your diver status is your only moat. However, this level of liberation requires a final counterintuitive audit. You must de-optimize memorization. In a world where AI has memorized the entire internet, recall is a commodity. Focus instead on first principles, logic, persuasion, and arithmetic. These allow you to rederive any answer on demand. Information is everywhere, but judgment is scarce. The ultimate target is founder-product-market fit, where you are so naturally aligned with what you build that no one else can sustain the pace. Your work is no longer a job, it is an extension of your character. Your bank account is a lagging indicator, but your schedule is the leading one. Stop hunting for the next opportunity. Refine the version of yourself that makes opportunities inevitable. The 9-to-5 script is dead. The new algorithm is yours. What will you build with your silence?